Hello and welcome back to the Little Craft House. Today we're going to do another colour mix tutorial. This time the colours are inspired by Halloween. Now Halloween isn't something massive that I personally celebrate. It's not big here in our area in Australia. However, I do like any excuse to make a themed pair of earrings. So I thought we would make up this batch of beautiful colours. And then next week I can show you some projects to use these colours with. So all of our mixes today are made from a combination of both Sculpey Premo clay and Sculpey Souffle clay. I will let you guys know exactly which colours as we go along. We're going to start with these two. Now, if you've seen one of my tutorials before, you will know that I talk about getting our even portions. So I will just cover that again for if you're new around here. If you've seen this part of my tutorials before, please feel free to skip forward to the fun good stuff which comes up soon. So what we're going to do is cut out a piece of each of the clays that we need. And our first recipe is a really easy one. It's a 1-to-1 ratio mix. So what we need to do is get equal portions of each of these colours. So the easiest way to do that is to whack it through the pasta machine so that we get it conditioned down slightly, and it doesn't have to be fully conditioned but just workable and not crumbly. We need to make sure that they are the same thickness. So if you don't have a pasta machine, you could always use something like the slab squares that we sell in our store. So that's just using the roller and rolling it down even, or you could use anything else that's going to give you a guide to making sure they are level. The thickness doesn't really matter as long as they are both the same. And they're both the same. So now the clays are the same thickness, we now need to make them the same size. So I like to use a circle cutter. You could use a square or something else that's symmetrical. By choosing something that's symmetrical makes doing your halves and quarters and things like that a lot easier than if you were to say to use something that was wibble wobble all over the place. So let's cut out one portion of each of these. Oh, need to make it a bit fatter, I think. So this one is a simple 1-to-1 ratio. So we're doing one of the cayenne, I think that's how you say it. This one. We're doing one portion of that and one portion of fluoro yellow. And we're just going to mix these together. So we can do it by either with the roller can do it by hand. Or you can pop it back through the pasta machine. And if I do it through the pasta machine, I find the thinnest setting or the thinner settings work really well because it breaks the clay down, breaks the colours down and mixes them a lot quicker. So that's my preferred method, so that's what we're going to do. And so what we end up with is this beautiful terracotta, burnt orange, and I really do like using this one in my Halloween projects. So what I'm going to do is cut out a little sample, and I'm going to bake up this sample, and I will pop it afterwards onto my recipe card. So I'm going to record these onto my recipe cards. We sell these cards in our store, but otherwise I'm sure you could come up with something very similar. I'm going to write the recipe down on this side, and then once it is all baked up, I'm going to glue my piece onto that side, and then that way I've got a little colour swatch of the baked colour to refer back to in future. So this one is one part. Oh, I need to make sure I spell it right. It's Premo. One. And that was Premo. I'll pop that on there for now, and I'll bake it up afterwards. The next two colours are both quite similar, but they're different enough that I do want to include them in this tutorial. So we're going to start with some ultramarine blue, some black, and some white gold glitter. Now, I absolutely love this white gold glitter. It is so full of glitter that you don't need to add too much to your clays to give them that little bit of sparkle. So we're actually only going to use a quarter of one of these today, but I'm just going to start by cutting out full circles. Now, when it comes to black, I am using the Souffle black today, the Souffle poppy seed. However, if you wanted to just use Premo, it will still have the same effect. It just doesn't have the texture. There's that slight difference in texture between Premo and Souffle, but I'm using the Souffle because that's what I've got on hand, and I really do love the texture. Although in saying that, by adding the glitter, it kind of changes it anyway, and we're adding it to a Premo. But totally your choice whether you choose Premo or Souffle for this one. Now with the black, I'm only going to need a quarter. So this is what I was talking about before with the portioning. It's easier if you've got a symmetrical shape to be able to portion. So I'm just going to cut this in half, and then in half again. Give me that quarter. And then the ultramarine blue, we're going to need 1.5. And then just a quarter of the white gold glitter. And we shall mix them up. And so this colour here is actually a really good dupe for the Galaxy glitter that Premo released a little while ago as well. So it's probably just a little bit darker, but it's very, very similar. So if you don't have the Galaxy glitter on hand, that's a really good recipe for doing the Galaxy glitter. Okay, so as I mentioned before, this one is also very, very similar to what we just created, but I do think it's different enough to include it, and it is also a really good Halloween colour. So this time we're going to go one of the ultramarine blues. We're going to use another quarter of the glitter, and we're just going to do a half of the cayenne red. Okay, so by adding the red, we were able to make it more of a purple colour compared to the blue of the one that we just did. So different shades of red and blue would obviously create a different purple, but I quite like this one because it's not quite black, but it has that little, that really darkness to it. So yeah, I do like this shade because it's a nice dark, moody shade. Okay, so next up, I will admit I have shared this recipe before. If you follow me over on Instagram, I have shared that over there, and I've also shared it on the shorts of YouTube before. But I've included it in this color way today because it just fits perfectly. So we've got 1 part fluoro pink, and we've also got gold. So they're both from the Premo brand, and together they make a beautiful color. So I'm just going to mix those now and I shall show you. So this is the most beautiful metallic orange, and it makes awesome little pumpkins. So I love this color. It's beautiful. Oh, I shouldn't have folded it over. I need to cut my little sample out. But yeah, it is a mix that I do quite a bit because I really do love it. Okay, so to brighten up our little colour palette now, we're going to mix a green. So we're going to use 1 part of the Souffle Jade to 1 part of Premo Fluoro Yellow. I've realised that a lot of today's recipes are 1-to-1 ratio, which is actually makes it really, really easy. And so there we have our beautiful green colour, and this green really just contrasts with the orange and the purple really nicely for that Halloweeny theme. So our final colour is going to be a combination of both the Souffle Concrete and Souffle Turnip. Now I'm actually going to do two variations of this colour, one being the straight colour, and then we're going to do one with a bit of sparkle. And so once again, this is just going to be an easy 1-to-1 ratio. So I'll mix these two up and I'll show you the colour it makes. And there we have a beautiful purple colour. Now I've done quite a few different recipes to make purples, and this would have to be my favourite. Sometimes they come out a bit muddy, a bit of a muddy purple, gross colour, but this one is actually really nice. So this is my favourite purple. And then, as I said before, I'm going to mix it again. Oh, that's just a colour comparison if you're wondering, from the turnip to then making it the purple. I'm going to do it again. So 1 part turnip and 1 part concrete. And this time I'm going to add in a 1/4 of the white gold glitter. And then I'll show you what that one looks like. So that's got that nice little subtle sparkle to it. If you want extra glitter, obviously you can add a larger portion of that white gold glitter. I'm going to add another half in just to make this one extra sparkly. And obviously you can also do the white gold glitter into any of the colour combinations, not just the ones I've done today, but any of your polymer clay colours, because it doesn't change the colour at all. It just adds the glitter in, which is always really nice. And so that's added an extra 1/4 of the white gold glitter. So that's 1 part turnip, 1 part concrete, and 1/2 part white gold glitter. So I'll do those little sample swatches of those and write those cards out. I've just realised I changed the way I wrote my card out a little bit. This time I just put P for Premo, S for Souffle. So here we have our colours of Halloween. So I'd just like to thank you guys for joining me today, and hope you've enjoyed making these colours along with me. And if colour mixing is something that you enjoy, I do have a playlist set up here on YouTube, which is dedicated to my colour mix tutorials. So thanks for joining me today, guys. Come back next week and see the project that I use these in, and I will also have a Christmas themed colour mix tutorial coming up very soon as well. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.